everybody, Sarah here. So this is going to be a video about the clutch number 81 that I have hatching. You will get to kind of follow their story and them as they came out of the eggs, and it'll be kind of like a fun little thing. I plan on doing this for all of the clutches. This one is going to be the more educational of the ones that I filmed this year. I have a lot of other clutches coming, but I didn't go into quite as much detail in all of the other ones as I did in this one. So if you're looking for the more educational one, this is definitely the one to watch. I also want to thank all of my channel members on this channel. I will list them right over here. Thank you guys so much for making this channel complete. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to become a member, you can click join under any video. It's $2 a month and you get exclusive content. Being able to watch live videos after they're over. I also film extra videos for members every week so that you guys get a little extra, just little extra deep dives on things that are going on in my snake life. But don't worry if you can't become a channel member and you don't have that money, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't take away from the channel. And also, if you just want to make a one-time donation to the channel, there is a super thanks under the video. It's shaped like a heart and it says thanks, and I think there's a dollar sign or something. I'm not really sure, but I think that that's activated on the channel, so if you would like to do that, that is also an option. Again, no pressure to ever add any money to this channel. It's just a way to support me and say thanks for what I do. I also want to mention that if you are looking to purchase a corn snake, I will have some of these babies up available on my website, sarahsnakeshop.com. The link is in the description. They are not available yet just because they're not eating, and I like my babies to get a few meals in them before I send them off to new homes. But if you are looking for recommendations that I might have for setups and things like that, I have a whole section on my website now that is recommended snake supplies. It links you to things on Amazon that you can buy for your snakes that I personally would recommend for anyone who has even a small corn snake all the way up to an adult corn snake and everything in between. There's obviously other things that you can get, but these are just some of the basics if you would like to go scroll through that and check that out as well. I get some commissions from Amazon if you go through those links, and so that helps me and it helps you. One more announcement, I am also part of the ambassador program for Reptilinks. So if you are a Reptilinks person, I plan to do some videos about Reptilinks in the future, but I've always loved their products, and they also sell more than just the links. They also have whole prey as well. So if you are interested in trying Reptilinks, you can use my code SarahSnake27 at checkout. I'll link that in the description as well. It gets you $5 off, and they have a $100 money back guarantee. So if you buy $100 worth and turns out your snakes just aren't really into it, they are going to refund you that $100 if you contact them about it. So it's pretty much a worry-free thing if you just want to try it out. Now I'm getting into the video, so like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I am looking at the snake eggs today. It is very close to the time that they're supposed to hatch, the first clutch of the year. This is actually the 1st of June. Crazy. The year is half over. But I want to show you something very cool that I look for when I'm looking for albinos coming out of a clutch of generally non-albinos. Okay, so we're here with the eggs, and I'm going to candle them really quick, and I want you to look at the color of the eggs. Kind of see when you candle them. Most of them, like, you can tell that they're kind of dark on the inside. But this one, super light colored. Can you tell the difference between that and then like that? Like, most of these they have a very dark sort of reflection to them, but then like this one in the corner, very, very bright reflection. I'm going to actually mark that one as possible albino, and we'll see if I'm right when they hatch. Alright, so as you can see, I put a little A with a Sharpie marker on that one, and we will see when they hatch in a few days if I was right. It is Sunday, June 5th, and I think we have our first Pippi. This is in Splinter's clutch, so let me get this. I'm pretty sure that I see a cut egg. Okay, so just as I suspected, we have one baby who cut on its own. It looks like an anery, which is what we expected. This was a red coat anery to an anery motley, Hetfer amel stripe, so that's what I was expecting, and I guess I'm expecting these, the rest of these eggs to probably cut within the next, like the rest of today, and then maybe into tomorrow, we'll see. And it might take a day or so for them to all come out of the egg. This is the one marked with an A for amelanistic. This might be a snow in here just because of the light reflection, so we will see if I was right, and we'll come back later and see if any more have pipped or come out. So a few more pipped, and I decided to go ahead and cut eggs, and you can see I was right. Hello there. You are definitely a snow. Very excited. This one over here was the first one to pip. I've seen a few more kind of stick their noses out, but they're hiding right now. But this one was my amelanistic type prediction, and I was right. I was so excited. Hey all, it is 6 a.m. on June 6th, and as you can see, everybody is breathing. And we have our little anery that's coming out here, already out. Aneries are all I was expecting, but of course, in my little amel one, there is definitely a snow. So I saw the snow breathing earlier. I think I scared it back into the egg. So I'm going to put this little anery in its enclosure, and when I come back from work later on today, hopefully more babies will be out. Someone's looking at me. Hello. You look like you're about ready to come all the way out of that egg. But I know that as soon as I open the lid, you're going to jump right back in there. A lot of them are poking noses out. The little snow there is poking nose out. The ones in the back. Everybody's coming along just fine. Okay, y'all, we are back at the end of the June 6th day, or at least I just got home from work. We have a second anery out, as well as a snow. I have not sexed them yet. But the anery, I don't know if you can see that head pattern on that anery, but that looks a lot like the head pattern on some that I produced last year between Casanova and Francesca. And you can also see maybe that this anery is very clearly frosted. And we have the same thing going on with the Casanova and Francesca babies. A lot of the babies from Casanova and Francesca ended up being frosted like that. So that is apparently passing on to Casanova's offspring with other females. So I think that that's really interesting, and that head pattern is also incredibly interesting. Not really sure what's up with Casanova. He's a crazy man. But we may end up holding back a female for him to breed him back to, just to see what might be going on. I don't know. But here's the rest of them. They're all breathing. And I don't know if you can see, like, all of this mess is probably just from these two crawling around. It happens. So I'm going to put them in separate enclosures and come back when I have another update. Alright, it is the next day, the 7th, and it looks like everybody's out. Everybody else here is aneries. I do see some interesting funky patterns, like that one there's got a funky pattern on it. This one right here has got a funky pattern. This one under here's got a little bit of a funky pattern. So that's cool. None of the other ones that I can see so far have that really weird head pattern I was talking about. Don't really know what the deal is with that, but we'll see what he looks like when he gets older, or she. I think that one was a male, but I don't quite remember. Hello, little babies. You are all so cute. Hello. Welcome to the world. Alright, I'm going to put them in separate enclosures. Okay, this is just so you guys can see how these baby containers are set up. That's pretty straightforward. We have paper towel that's moist with a water ball in it. These water balls are just the little, like, plastic to-go sort of sauce bowls. You can buy them in bulk. Pretty much any food store, like Gordon's or whatever, or you can just get them on Amazon, which is where I got them. And I do label them, so let me get down to the label. Alright, so this is how I label them. 2022-81 is the name of the clutch, so every clutch has a number, and then number 7 is the snake's number, and the F next to it is female. I can sex them as soon as they come out of the egg, but if you're not comfortable, you can save putting the male or female label on later. You know, don't feel super pressured if you don't know how to sex them. And of course I wrote down anery, and the slash, it means het. It's easier than just typing out the word het for me. RC is red coat, the MS is for motley or stripe, and then the 0.6 is 66% possibly het amel, and the 0.5 is 50% possibly het hypo, because I know that the dad produced hypos with another female, so he is het hypo, but apparently the mom was not het hypo, or at least not that we know of. So right now we have 66% possibly had AML, 50% possibly had hypo. That's why I have 0.6 and 0.5 for the 66% and the 50%. So there they are, and these babies are looking pretty nice. There's some nice funky pattern going on with some of them, so I look forward to seeing how they grow. And again, this is just paper towel moistened with just water, like a spray water bottle. And I use filtered water. I have a Brita filter where all my water comes out, and I fill it up about once a week. So that's what I would recommend if you're doing something like this. If you only have tap water, I recommend filtered water. Alright, so it is still the same day. It's the 7th of June. The babies from the first clutch are all out. They're all anoretes except for one Snow. And there's only 3 males, which tends to happen, I noticed, at the beginning of the year. It seems like my first clutch or 2 of the year are mostly female. And I usually attribute that to, usually the first couple clutches of the year are laid when it's cooler in general. While some of the other ones maybe are laying as it gets warmer. And there is some evidence to suggest that the cooler the temperatures, sometimes maybe the higher percentage of females. I don't know that for sure, but I'm just mentioning it. So when it comes to baby care as far as hatching goes, you want to make sure that they have water pretty much immediately, and you want them to have a moist environment at least until their first shed. Once they have that first shed, you're pretty good to go. With just keeping them on regular bedding. It's just that first shed so that, they don't come from a very moist environment and then get completely dried out. You kind of want them to stay a little wet, which is why I use paper towels. Seems to be the easiest way that doesn't allow for mold to keep everything really wet in there, but also is somewhat absorbent for poop and stuff like that. After they have their first shed in a week, I will attempt their first feedings. The first feedings are going to be frozen thawed pinkies, and I'm just going to thaw them out normally and throw them in and see who eats and who doesn't. I have a whole sheet on how to keep track of all that stuff, and I'll show it in the future. Here's an example of my feeding sheet. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, I have the clutch number. This is where I would put that 2022-81. Underneath that is the hatch date, and in this case, it was, I think, June 6th or 7th, something like that. And then the one next to that on the right is where I would write down the parents, maybe the parents' genetics. And then obviously underneath that is where the actual feeding chart itself begins. So I have all the way on the left, I have the date of feeding. Then I put in the hatchlings number. And then where it says 8, I either just put a check mark that yes, it ate, or I might write down what it ate. And over in the notes section, I can put a little bit more detail, something like ate a boiled pinky, or would only eat pinky mouse in the dark, or anything like that. Different snakes are going to be picky for different types of food, and so that notes section really helps me know how to best give the snake what it is used to and what it needs and how it prefers to be fed. Thank you so much for watching all of that. I really appreciate you guys being here. We are now doing new secret words for people who make it to the end of videos. So comment the word water bottle, just because that's what's sitting here right now. And thank you again for being my secret audience if you made it this far. Next week's video is going to be a kind of weird, kind of special morph deep dive that I'm actually really excited about, that was really unexpected, but all of these things are sort of falling in my lap and it all kind of fell into place. So really excited to share that video with you. I'll see you then.